You're listening to a Nite Muse media production. Tonight we return to the lost art of radio storytelling. Close your eyes if you like, and let the theater of the mind begin. Your host, John Robinson.
This is the story of the bus, the deer, and the decision. You know, there are moments in life when a person is faced with a decision. It's a quiet moment with no audience, no pressure, just a thought drifting in, like smoke. And most of us let that thought pass. We say, that's probably not a good idea. Tonight's story is about a man who didn't let that thought pass. It was somewhere in Pennsylvania on what was probably a completely ordinary day. A man came across a deer. This deer had already passed away. Now, if you came across this sight, you would probably think one of two things. And then keep walking. Or you'd think, well, that's sad. But this guy had a third thought. A thought that would set everything else in motion. He looked at the deer, and somewhere deep inside his mind, a voice said, "You know what this situation needs? A school bus." A school bus? Now, we don't know exactly how long it took to go from seeing the deer to acquiring the bus, but at some point, a decision was made. And not just any decision, a fully committed follow-through decision. Because before long, there was a school bus, and inside the bus was the deer, and at the wheel was the man who had decided, this was a day for bold choices. So the bus begins moving across roads and through traffic across county lines, and naturally people are noticing. Because when a school bus is driving in a way that suggests it has absolutely no intention of following rules, people tend to call somebody. The cops. And now the cops come along. They were probably expecting, the usual. But they were not expecting this. Because as they're chasing this guy, something else begins to happen. Something noticeable. Clothing begins to leave the situation. Now, we don't know if this was a gradual process or a decisive moment, but at some point, the man driving the stolen school bus with a dead deer through multiple counties decided that it was no longer necessary for him to wear clothes. So now, just to review what's going on, we have a stolen school bus, a multi-county pursuit, a dead deer, and a driver fully naked. Now here's the thing, as strange as this is, it could have gone very differently. A vehicle that large, moving unpredictably, that's serious enough. People could have been hurt. Eventually the bus stops, the situation resolves, and the man is taken into custody. And at this point, there's only one question left. Why? Why did he do this? And his answer? He intended to use the deer as fertilizer. Okay, now that makes sense, that's practical. But the method he used involved a school bus and taking his clothes off. That's what stays with you, not the bus, not the deer, not the lack of clothes, but the moment it all began. That little quiet voice in his head that said, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is the plan. Art Bell used to say that reality has a way of outpacing fiction. But in this case, reality didn't just outpace it. It climbed into the driver's seat, picked up a dead deer, and lost his pants somewhere along the way. All while driving across county lines. And somewhere out there tonight, somebody else is having a thought. A small one. One of those, maybe I could do this kind of a thought. And hopefully they just let that one pass. This has been Nite Muse, where the fire is warm, the night is quiet, and human behavior is perplexing.